Good morning students, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Venus Public School. We will continue with chapter 6 combustion and flame of class 8. Yesterday we have discussed different types of combustions, that is rapid combustion, explosion and spontaneous combustion. Let me give you a quick recap of the topics which we have discussed yesterday. Number 1 is rapid combustion. In rapid combustion we have seen large amount of heat energy and light energy is produced in a very short span of time. Is called rapid combustion. That's why we call it rapid. Okay, and the examples of rapid combustion is burning of matchstick, burning of LPG, and burning of paper as well. Okay, so these are the examples of rapid combustion. Now explosion. When we are talking about explosion, we are talking about sound. Okay, so heat, light and sound energy is produced when explosion is happening, and along with this heat, light and sound energy, large amount of gases are also released, clear, which causes pollutions. Okay, so we might have heard about it like during the Diwali season or during the New Year time. What happens? Pollution, the level of pollution increases due to the burning of crackers, etc. So cracker would be an example of explosion, clear. So it produces heat, light and sound energy, as well as a large amount of gases are evolved from this kind of combustion, clear. Now spontaneous combustion means when the substance catches fire on its own, there is no need to set it on fire from the external source. So such kind of combustions are called spontaneous combustions. For example, burning of sodium or phosphorus, like when you take sodium just into the contact, when you take sodium particles, when sodium particles come in contact with oxygen, then it automatically start burning by itself. Okay, so this is an example of spontaneous combustion. Now today we have to discuss what are the products of combustion basically. Okay, so let us see, because basically we have seen there are when we burn something, okay, we got something. Okay, that means of course we are getting heat and light energy, but along with heat and light energy we also got few other products. Okay, so let us discuss. There are basically two kind of products we are getting, or there are two kind of combustions. Okay, so one kind of combustion will give you some different product, and other kind of combustion will give you some different results. Number 1 is complete combustion and number 2 is incomplete combustion. So basically we can clearly see from the titles that what are the basic differences. So let us begin with the first topic, that is complete combustion. Okay, so complete combustion is kind of combustion which happens when a sufficient amount of oxygen is provided for the combustion process, clear. When sufficient amount of oxygen is provided for the combustion process, and thus this kind of combustion is called complete combustion, clear. For example, when you burn methane in the presence of sufficient amount of oxygen, what will happen? You will be getting carbon dioxide, you will be getting water and energy, that means heat and light energy, clear. So basically water and carbon dioxide are basically of course in an adequate amount of carbon dioxide is also not very harmful, clear, though it is like kind of required, because plants used to inhale carbon dioxide. So yes, carbon dioxide is of course required, but in an adequate amount, clear. So when methane and oxygen means sufficient amount of oxygen. When methane is burned in sufficient amount of oxygen, then carbon dioxide, water and energy is produced, which is not at all harmful for us, clear. In an adequate amount of CO2 and the rest of the things are not at all harmful for us. And this kind of combustion, so the combustion which takes place under sufficient supply of oxygen is called complete combustion. Now let us talk about incomplete combustion. Limited supply of oxygen is there, clear. When the substance used to burn in limited amount of oxygen supply, then it produces carbon monoxide, which is a harmful gas. Okay, and which will be considered as pollutant, clear. So carbon monoxide, water and energy is produced. So water and energy can be are the usable products, but carbon monoxide is completely undesirable product. Okay, so which is harmful, which would be considered as a pollutant. So what kind of combustion is it? Incomplete combustion. What is incomplete combustion? When the substance used to burn in a limited supply of oxygen, then such kind of combustion is called incomplete combustion, and as a result of incomplete combustion, more pollutants used to produce. Clear? Pollutant gases used to produce along with the required products or energy. Why we used to burn things? To get energy out of it. Clear? So basically along with energy we got some more products, and in complete combustion the products are not at all harmful, whereas in the incomplete combustion the products are harmful or maybe considered as pollutants. Clear? So these are the products of combustion. Two types of combustion, two types of product we will be getting after the combustion. One is complete combustion, another one is incomplete combustion. Now let us move further and discuss a very important topic, that is necessary conditions for combustion. Necessary conditions for combustion. Let me write the heading. Necessary condition for combustion. Okay, so there are basically three necessary conditions for combustion. Okay, number one is presence of combustible substance. Okay, presence of combustible substance. Of course, combustible substance, that means because we have discussed, you might have remembered or memorized, we have discussed what are combustible substances, what are non-combustible substances. The substances which used to catch fire in the presence of oxygen are combustible substances, and the substances which are not able to catch fire, okay, in the presence of sufficient supply of oxygen are called non-combustible substances. We have also discussed few examples like combustible substance we have taken that day. We have discussed combustible substance, we have taken some examples also. The examples were petrol, kerosene, LPG, wood, paper, etc. are combustible substances, and non-combustible substances, water, sand, glass, metal, etc. they are non-combustible substances. So basically presence of combustible substances are the first prerequisite of combustion. Clear? Presence of combustible substances is must. Clear? Now the second part is presence of supporter of combustion. Presence of supporter of combustion. Supporter means oxygen. Presence of oxygen, basically presence of oxygen, because without if you are having this combustible substance, but if you are not having the oxygen, okay, or in common words we will call it air, okay, so if you are not having air or oxygen around the combustible substance, it is not possible that combustion process is happening. Clear? So the first condition is combustible substance, the second condition is presence of supporter of combustion, and the third and the most important thing is attainment of ignition temperature. IGNITION, ignition temperature. Clear? So this is again a very important topic which till now we have not discussed, so let us discuss in very detail. These are the two topics which we have already discussed. That first is combustible substance. We already know what are combustible substances, what are non-combustible substances. If we try to burn a glass, if we try to burn water, combustion is not possible. Okay, so combustible substances are required for combustion. Second, without the presence of oxygen it is not possible. On the first day I have told you to perform a small activity at your home in presence of your parents, where I have told you to take a candle, burn it up, like light it on, and then put a glass over there on the top of it. After few seconds or after a minute or so, it will stop burning. Why? Because we cut off the supply of air or oxygen to the candle. That's why it stopped burning. Clear? Or stopped lighting. Clear? So basically, because we know what is combustion. Combustion is the process of burning of substance in the presence of air or oxygen. So second part is very important. That is, if we cut off the supporter of combustion, that is, if we cut off the supply of supporter of combustion, that is air, it is the combustion process is not possible. So this is again a necessary condition for combustion. Now last and the most important thing is ignition temperature. So what is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which combustible substance starts burning in the presence of air. What is the ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which the substance starts burning in the presence of air or oxygen. Clear? So the lowest temperature, first of all, the lowest temperature. Okay, so let us understand this concept with few examples. Okay, now it is again a very simple experiment that you can perform at a home, but again it involves this fire and all. So take full precautions and please perform it with the help of your parents. Clear? What you can do is you can take a piece of paper and try to burn it. Clear? With a matchstick or with a candle or something. Okay, please hold it with a tongue. Please hold the paper with a tongue. So in first case, what you are doing, in first case you are burning a paper. Clear? Simple, a dry paper. Okay, second time, while you are doing it, you have to perform the same task. You will have to burn a piece of paper, but before burning it, what you will have to do is you will have to dip it in a glass of water. Okay, you will have to dip the paper, the entire paper in a bucket full of water, or you will have to wet it basically. Okay, so what you are doing it, dry paper. First of all, you are burning dry paper, and then you are you are trying to burn a wet paper. What is the difference? You will see. If we are doing it with the help of a candle, we will observe that dry paper will start burning very easily and very quickly. Okay, within seconds, within a fraction of second maybe. And when you try to burn a wet paper, what will happen? Either it will not burn, okay, or there is a possibility that it will catch fire after few minutes. Okay, now why it is happening? Paper is same, the combustible substance is same. We have seen paper is a very good combustible substance. Okay, it is again an example of rapid combustion. Rapid means quickly, within a very short span of time you can burn it. Okay, so as the substance is same, the supply of oxygen is again the same, sufficient amount, but what is the difference then? Why it take too long? Why the wet paper took too long to catch fire? Basically, the ignition temperature, the temperature at which it start burning, the lowest temperature at which it start burning, okay, to attain there, to reach there, it is dried already. So it would not take lot of time to reach at its ignition temperature, whereas it have to dry the paper. We need to keep that paper on the top of flame for longer time duration, because while it is drying the paper, first of all the flame has to dry the wet paper to such extent that it will become a dry paper, and then again more temperature is required to reach to the lowest temperature at which the paper catches fire. Clear? So that's why it took long. That's why the wet paper took long. Okay, started burning. Clear? So from here, from this simple experiment, we will be able to conclude that attainment of ignition temperature is very important. Okay, and from here we can also say that different substances have different different substances have different ignition temperatures. For example, let us perform another experiment, which is again you will have to do in the presence of your parents. Another observation that you will have to observe, again you will have to use proper gears to perform the gloves, or maybe rubber, that proper gloves, or a tongue you will have to use. Okay, what you will have to do is, here again you will what you will do is, number one, you will take a piece of paper, dry paper. This is experiment 1 and this is experiment 2. Clear? In experiment 2, what you will have to do, take dry paper, and second, take a piece of wood piece. Hold both the things with tongue and try to burn them with the help of a candle. Okay? In the presence, of course, in the presence of parents. What you will observe? What will be the observation? You will observe that dry paper start burning very quickly, within a second or within a fraction of second. Whereas wood piece, which is again dry enough to catch fire, dry enough to get burnt, but still it will take long duration, it will take more time as compared to paper before catching fire. Okay, so why it is happening? From here we will be able to identify or conclude that dry paper and wood piece are two different substances having different ignition temperatures. Clear? So same amount of both are combustible substances, same amount of oxygen is supplied to both of the substances, but the wood piece took long because it is having a higher ignition temperature as compared to the dry paper. So the lowest temperature at which, what is ignition temperature? So basically the definition of ignition temperature, which is very important to memorize or learn because it is very important from examination point of view. So the lowest temperature at which the substance starts burning or catches fire, the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire or start burning is called, in the presence of oxygen of course, is called ignition temperature. Clear? Is it clear, the ignition temperature? So these are the three most necessary things which are required when combustion is happening. So for number one, combustible substance, number two, sufficient amount of oxygen or air, and number three, attainment of ignition temperature is very important. Clear? And I hope all of us are clear with the definition of ignition temperature. Clear? And I hope you will perform these two experiments to verify the things which we have discussed. Okay, we have discussed all these things on paper, but it's good to like verify them by your own. Science is about experimenting. So both the experiments you can perform at home, but take a good care of yourself while you are performing the experiments. Do it in the presence of your parents and use proper gears. Use a tongue to hold these the things which you are setting up on fire. So okay, thank you. Tomorrow we will be discussing the next topic of ours, which is fire extinguishers. Okay, or how to control or extinguish a fire. Clear? Thank you.